These are the 6 characters that I want to see added into Marvel Rivals. So today I'm going to discuss their potential roles, their abilities, ultimates, all crafted to fit right into the game. And quick disclaimer before we start, I am not a comic book reader. I only consume MCU movies and television shows. Please don't flame me in the comments, you comic book watchers. Let's get into it. Currently I'm at 766 subscribers, so I thank you for that. Make sure you subscribe to get me to 1,000 because that is what's going to help me out a lot. First person that I think is an obvious choice that should be added into the game is Thanos. And of course, I think that he should be a Vanguard given his size and his stature. And for me personally, I think Thanos is a really hard character to adapt into Marvel Rivals because he has that gauntlet. He has the Infinity Stones, which are extremely hard to balance, given that they do literally everything. They give him all the powers in the world. So I definitely think that they should utilize each stone as an ability, and then an ultimate, he should use all 5 stones maybe. For one, you can use the Power Stone kind of for like an area of effect ground slam that damages and knocks back enemies. Essentially like the Thing's ult, but just not as powerful. But I think as an ability, that would be really good for CCing other abilities and overall survivability. Secondly, I think it would be pretty interesting to have Thanos kind of play like a hybrid dive role. Like we kind of have that with Venom, where you can low-key play him in the front line and then dive whenever you can coordinate that. So having another one of those tanks would absolutely be amazing to see. So maybe with another ability using the Space Stone that he can kind of teleport. Obviously there's things that you would have to work out to make it not overpowered, but like being able to get in, do some damage and get out. I'm thinking for his primary fire, you can definitely use his fists. You can definitely see in the movies when he pieced Thor up, that was awesome to see. So maybe we can give him like some kind of advanced fighting styles and techniques. But as for the third ability, that you can really leave up to the devs. I'm not really sure what his third ability should be. We have the Reality Stone he can use, maybe switching out the environment with something, having an environment based change. But I can imagine with how the Doctor Strange portal lowers FPS that badly, I can just imagine having Thanos destroy my FPS with switching the environment. So for his ultimate, I was going back and forth between 2 possible ones, and you guys can let me know in the comments below which one you think would be better for the game. So the first one, obviously with the Infinity Stones, I've seen people say that he activates them and snaps, and then half the people on the battlefield go, whether it's on your team or the other team. Obviously that's a stupid idea. I don't think anyone would play Thanos if that was the case. But for my first idea for his ult, he would activate all 6 Infinity Stones, and when he activates that, he would have damage reduction, of course, and then he would be able to use his abilities with no cooldown for like 6-7 seconds of the game. He would just beam people, he would displace them, he could teleport. That would be very, very overpowered. My second idea for his ult would actually be, if you guys have ever played Overwatch, obviously I have a lot of Overwatch people that play this game, his ult would kind of be like Sigma, where it's a big area of effect, pick somebody up off the ground and they're just in the air for a while, and when you slam them down, they, you can either take half their health or you can do percentage, whatever is best for the game. I think that's way more balanced than him just being crazy overpowered with a bunch of no cooldowns. But that's about it for Thanos. You let me know what you think about that. Next we have Gambit, and he would bring a bunch of agility and explosive damage to the team. One of his abilities would be something like an explosive card that he throws, or maybe a spread of explosive cards that he throws, where he just throws cards in a general direction and then they just blow up on impact. Another one of his abilities could be leaping forward and using his staff and kind of damaging enemies in the process. While he wouldn't be a full dive, he would kind of be more of a middle tier where he has some mobility but not too crazy. His primary fire can definitely be him just keep throwing cards, kind of like Genji in Overwatch, where he just throws cards. You can either throw a singular card or 3 cards at once. And then for his ultimate, I was thinking of something, I love comparing things to Overwatch, because just do what Overwatch did right and don't do what Overwatch did wrong. But it would kind of be like a Reaper ult. I know we have that with Spider-Man, but this one would take just a little bit more skill than a Spider-Man ult than just pressing Q, where drop in to the enemy team, you would do it like a spin or something, and you would throw cards in a bunch of different directions and they would just explode. It would do a lot of damage, obviously, because it's his ult. But for Gambit, maybe you comic book readers can tell me more. I don't know much about the character. I just love his design. I love the fact that he's throwing cards and whatnot. So you guys can let me know about this one in the comments. Next is personally my favorite character in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Universe in general, comic books or not, is definitely gonna be Daredevil. And if you're putting Daredevil into the game, you must make him a duelist. Given Daredevil's nature of how agile and nimble he is, he'll play very similar to Spider-Man, but with a little bit more damage and not as much mobility. One of his abilities that I would like to see is him swing using his billy clubs. Now, I don't think it should be like Spider-Man. I definitely think you should be allowed to swing one time on a cooldown and then you would have to wait. This just allows him not to keep being able to be a constant dive character. Another ability I would love to see is him throwing his billy clubs off of a wall, or it ricocheting, or it doing maybe like a scatter arrow. If you remember from Overwatch with Hanzo, please don't make it that lethal where it's just killing somebody, but that should be an ability. He should also have a passive where he's very agile and he's able to either double jump or jump off of a place or jump off a wall just because of his nature. And obviously, given that he's blind and he has super heightened senses, his ult should 100% be to get revealed through walls, kind of like Widowmaker in Overwatch. And not only that, I think he should enter some kind of enhanced state of damage boost or something like that, or increase his speed, allowing him to chain attacks together and you're able to combo somebody up in your ult. And that, I think it would be very, very cool to see in the game. One of the biggest problems right now is that a lot of people are not playing support. Now, I need you guys to hear me out on this, okay? One of the main reasons people aren't playing support, let's be honest, they lack a little bit of aura. So let's give them aura. And obviously, Ultron is getting added onto the game and he's got some aura. So hopefully a lot of people go play Ultron and Healer and stuff like that. But I think Cyclops should come into the game not as a duelist, but as a healer, or better yet, a support. Gotta be politically correct out here. So my original thought for him is to kind of make him like Moira from Overwatch and Zenyatta from Overwatch. Hear me out. You guys have to wait. Listen, hear me out. Don't click off yet. One of his abilities should be like a Discord orb where he marks a target and that increases the damage dealt to that enemy by the allies. We don't have anything like that right now currently, like a dedicated ability. One of Cloak and Dagger's abilities is to do that, but this would be a dedicated ability. It would work in a line of sight. Another ability he can have would be like an energy beam that damages enemies in its path while also healing allies. Or maybe have it play on, if he has his visor on or his glasses, then he's healing his teammates, and then when he takes it off, he's damaging allies. So it's adding kind of like a skill gap to it. And then for his ultimate, I honestly don't see anything wrong with this ultimate. I would have him just completely remove his visor and it'll be like a massive beam where he's healing and damaging at the same time across a wide area. Just think of it like Moira. Now, this character wouldn't have the highest skill ceiling, but you could definitely play this character as someone who doesn't play support and do well on. And for the fifth character I would like to see added would be Nighcrawler. He would be a duelist, and he would also be another dive character using teleportation to confuse and outmaneuver opponents. Think of Tracer from Overwatch, where you're able to just teleport. You have 3 teleports and then you go in, do some damage and get out. I would also have him have an ability like a smoke where he drops like a cloud of smoke, obscuring vision, allowing him to get out, although he won't be invincible in that state where he's getting out, but at least it'll provide him some cover leaving. And then his passive should be climbing walls, kind of what Spider-Man and Venom have, getting to these high ground places and then diving. I think for his ultimate, it should be him teleporting between multiple enemies and striking each of them with precision and leaving them disoriented. I'm fine with this ultimate not being lethal, but being good enough to combo up with something else. But again, you guys let me know about Nighcrawler. All I've seen from him has been from the movies, so he could have more things that I just don't know about in his kit, but you guys let me know. And for the sixth and final character, you guys are gonna have to hear me out on this again. Professor X as a strategist. This also goes into my point of getting characters that people know, that people like, so that they can actually enjoy playing support. How many of you guys have heard of Luna Snow before she dropped? I know I didn't. A lot of casual fans didn't know much about Cloak and Dagger. I know there's like a show or something about her. I didn't watch it. And then you have characters like Loki, kind of aura, has aura. People play Loki. You got Mantis. You know, I'm not getting out of my seat for Mantis. Adam Warlock, he's got aura, but he's kind of ass. Not anymore though, since they buffed his ass. You guys got to check that out. But yeah, back on track. Professor X as a support, and it only makes sense because he controls a lot with his mind. I really don't know where else you would put him. One of his abilities can be something like a mind link where he connects with an ally, boosting their damage. Think of Mercy and her damage boosting staff. And obviously you want to give this support that doesn't have a lot of mobility some kind of dive resistance. I would give him something like a wave that disrupts enemies' abilities and slows them down. So if you're getting dove, you can just click a button in the direction. Obviously you got to aim kind of like a freeze or something like that and disable their abilities. I'm also thinking about another ability. You can call it like mental barrier or something, where he stands and there's a bubble that forms around him, but it's a very big bubble, or medium-sized bubble, I should say, where if you stand in it, you get healed a little bit and you also get shielded from damage. And to play on the whole Cerebro thing, you can tap into Cerebro as his ult. You could stun enemies. You could reveal their positions to the team so that you can create a coordinated attack. So these are the 6 characters that I would love to see join Marvel Rivals. Each of them brings a unique set of abilities and playstyles that would help the game's dynamic combat. You guys let me know what I missed on, what I hit on, and what characters that you want to see, because I'm making a part 2 to this where you guys can tell me, and I'll take abilities from the comments and characters from the comments and I'll make a part 2. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Gotta go, bye.